Hey, what's going on there, folks? Earthmaster here, checking in Sunday afternoon, kind of towards evening for some of you folks out there. It is 4:50 p.m. West Coast time, and a little bit of earthquake activity to discuss out here today. A little bit different than we have been seeing the past couple days out here on the Earthquake 3D globe. Latest earthquake to talk about, which is kind of surprising and odd, is a 4.5 earthquake in the Hutchinson, Kansas area. It's a pretty good size, earthquake for those folks up there or over there, depending on where you're at, location-wise. Looks like a 2.5 just struck down in Oklahoma as well. The latest earthquake on this Earthquake 3D globe. So activity definitely on the increase in the central part of the United States. Also a little bit of earthquake activity to the east of the New Madrid fault system, 2.8 striking out here. Let's see, I think that's Tennessee. Let's get an exact coordinate on this real quick. Fincastle, Tennessee, at a depth of 33 kilometers. Supposedly, one person felt it. That's pretty deep. Some deep earthquake activity kind of taking place up around an area where you just don't see that much earthquake activity. It's very, very interesting here. I want to zoom in here to a map here in regards to Kansas and their earthquake activity. Historically speaking, that is, this 4.5 is not 4.5 is not the largest earthquake that they've had in history, and it's not even the 4.9. If you look it up on Google or Yahoo, whatever search browser you use, shows that there was a 4.9 being the largest earthquake back in, let's see where that was at here. I think I just got rid of it. It was a 4.9 back in 2011 or 2014, I believe. Hold on one second here, folks. I had it on here and it just happened to disappear. Let's see here. Well, the largest one, I guess, is this 5.1 back in 1867. But if you look it up, they're talking about a 4.9 that happened in 2000, early 2000s, I believe, 2011, 2014, somewhere around there. They were talking about it being, or 2016, maybe I see it right here. A well-injected site, right? 4.9 magnitude on November 14th, about 40 miles southwest of Wichita. So a little bit conflicting reports there. I mean, that's a 4.9 is a pretty good sized earthquake, no doubt, but was not the largest earthquake out there in Kansas. That's going to be this earthquake right here that you see on the map or on the screen right now. Back in 1867, it's called the Manhattan, Kansas earthquake, and that one struck at about a magnitude 5.1 on the Richter scale in Riley County, Kansas, kind of in the northeast corner of Kansas, kind of towards the evening of April 24th, 1867 at 20:22 or 14:30 local time. So we're looking at early afternoon. The strongest earthquake to originate in the state. No doubt quite a few folks out there felt that type of earthquake and that type of structure and rock. The earthquake had a maximum perceived intensity of very strong on the intensity scale. Most of the damage, which was minor, and the reports were confined to Kansas, Iowa, and Missouri. So we're looking at felt over an area of 200,000 square miles. There's a little interesting side note here. If you look, we can read this right here. This area. Manhattan is near the, what is that? Nemaha Ridge. Not for sure how you pronounce that. It's a structure that is bounded by several faults. The nearby Humboldt Fault is poses a threat to the city. Kansas is not known for earthquake activity. That doesn't sound right. But an earthquake could occur at any time. 2016 hazard map from the United States Geological Survey estimated 1% or lower risk for a major earthquake in Kansas for the following year. Those scientists from the agency think an earthquake of magnitude 7.0 remains possible for the folks out there. So it's definitely an interesting scenario to hear about earthquake activity out there in Kansas. Most of the time, a lot of folks, hear about it, and the first story is going to be well injection sites and oil fracking sites and all that stuff, which do contribute to earthquakes. Obviously, right? You're damaging the ground below, injecting it with wastewater, and of course, when pressure builds up in the region, you're going to have a pop and snap and a little collapse there and a little earthquake. But the 1867 one predates those. The fracking earthquakes. So a large earthquake is possible out there in the Manhattan, Kansas region, or anywhere in Kansas. So it's always good to be vigilant and stay alert in that area, anywhere, I guess, where you live. Seems like earthquakes happen anywhere these days. Let's go over here to a different map here, and we'll zoom in to the region and take a look at the satellite view of the area. USGS map right here. 1 day, all magnitudes. Zooming in on the Central Plains region. We can see that 2.5 that just struck there in Oklahoma, I believe it was. That is more than likely a fracking type earthquake there. Rather shallow depth there as well. But we do want to zoom into the area here to the north in Kansas region. I've never been to Hutchinson, Kansas. The closest I've been was Pratt, Kansas, which is over here to the southwest by a little ways. And that beautiful area. I'm a big fan of Kansas. I love the open prairies and the wheat fields out there. It's just got especially in the summertime, spring and summertime, when that warm, moist air is coming up. Beautiful area. But anyway, and definitely a lot of friendly folks out there too. I like that. I can't say enough good stuff of Kansas out there. 4.5 showing up right there on the map, and that's just outside of South Hutchinson, so pretty close. A lot of folks reported feeling this earthquake in the Hutchinson area and surrounding areas, even out here even down there in Pratt, I should say, which sits off to the west down there a little ways, southwest, I should say. And this earthquake struck at about 5 kilometers below the surface, which I believe is fault related, not fracking related in this area. We can zoom in and take a look at the satellite imagery over here real quick. Let's see here. I can find the satellite. You start getting into populated area. Once you get into Hutchinson and head eastward, population density starts to go up. So let's zoom in here. Kind of looks like it's right there on that on-ramp there on the interstate. That's going to be that little orange circle. I'm going to see if it'll let me zoom in a little bit more here. And yeah, that's pretty interesting there. Most of the communities out here don't. I'm sure there's fracking sites and operations out here, but I don't think. Let's see, that's a house down there. Most of these are houses, farm communities out here. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more, if it'll let me. Now, right over here might just be some type of. Oh, that actually looks like that's not any type of fracking site. That's just who knows? That looks like maybe some type of business shed. I don't know what that is, but I don't believe it's fracking. I don't see any well pumping equipment out there. So just kind of an odd spot, this 4.5, the pretty large earthquake for the folks in Kansas to be striking out there on the on-ramp. But that's where the USGS has it at. And yeah, it's pretty interesting out here, let me tell you. That 5.1 that took place, the largest back in 1867, was well to the northeast of here, so nowhere near where this earthquake activity is taking place today. Anyway, let me back out. I did want to show the last 7 days of earthquake activity here in this region. So let's see here real quick here. If I can find out what I'm doing here. A little off today, folks. Sleeping. I think I slept way too much. So seems like when I get too much sleep is when I don't function very well. So we are at 1 day all magnitudes here, and backing out just a little bit here in the Kansas area and Oklahoma. We'll include Oklahoma down here as well since they're having the earthquake activity today. We can go back the last 7 days, 2.5 and above, and there's not a whole lot of difference out there, right? But if you do go back 7 days all magnitudes, then you start seeing a little bit more increase in the seismic activity out here scattered about Oklahoma. Not a whole lot in Kansas, but mostly confined to the Oklahoma area. And also there was a little bit of earthquake activity here towards the New Madrid fault system, which sits well over here to the east. But it looks like since then that activity has dropped off, or at least the majority of it has. So not a lot of renewed activity in the New Madrid fault system here. The Tennessee earthquake is of interest to me, and that's going to sit right up here. Let me back this down here real quick. Tennessee earthquake up here. 2.8. Man, I wish I made these circles just a little bit bigger. Sorry about that. It's kind of even here on my end. It's kind of hard to see that little orangish circle there. Of course, there's mountains out there, right? So mountains are going to form from plate tectonics and movement and whatnot. Once again, this sits at. My eyes are bad right now. I can't even see the. What is that? 33 kilometers below the surface. Yeah, somewhere around there. Anyway, so a pretty deep earthquake activity occurring down there, way below 2.8. Not a big deal, folks, but interesting out there in Tennessee, kind of on the edge of that mountain range out there. And take a look at the satellite view here real quick. And I don't know what goes on over there in Tennessee as far as fracking operations go, but I guarantee you it's not going to be down there at 33 kilometers below the surface. Let's see here. Are these like individual houses out here? They're all just like scattered about. That's kind of cool. Your nearest neighbor is a couple houses away. I like that. Almost thought they were pumping operations for a little while, but they're not. They're little individual houses. So that orange circle right there is the epicenter of that 2.8 there in Tennessee. I don't see any pumping operations around the region, folks, so that can be eliminated. Most likely plate tectonics at work as well on the south side of this this mountain range here, so that would make sense if we're seeing an increase in pressure to see activity there in that region. But yeah, I stayed on this topic just a little bit too long. I want to get back to the earthquake activity out there in the Pacific. Definitely on the increase. Just real quick while we're over here, we'll take a look at Puerto Rico, right? activity on the decline as of right now. Although this deeper earthquake here, the ring here that's kind of raised off the globe, it's going to be this one right here. That's of interest here. That's going to be something to keep an eye on to see if this deeper earthquake right there renews the uptick in activity there in Puerto Rico. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But right now, activity on the decline there in Puerto Rico area. Did have that 6.0 yesterday. That's going to be this one right here that occurred. That was even in the update video last night. That is an older earthquake, but the newer earthquake activity further to the west here, another 6.0 that we had today. And pretty good size, right? Still in the Indonesia Islands area. And that one there is kind of deep, 118 kilometers, so some significant movement down there in this area of the world. And of course we have that China earthquake up here, 6-pointer that struck in China, and that was at about 11 kilometers below the surface. Few folks feeling it. I'm sure there was a lot more than a few folks, but pagers were in orange, at least for the estimated economic loss. Estimated fatalities was in the green, so not a, I guess not a highly populated area in that region. But it definitely looks like there's some towns in view. But yeah, definitely folks feeling it out there for sure. And then we got the activity that we kind of covered last night near Greece in the Mediterranean Sea region. Where they've had a couple 4s, and I believe there was a 5 in there as well. 5-pointer being the last earthquake to take place out there in the same region where these other ones have been taking place the last couple of days, relatively within the same area. And of course, Mediterranean Sea, no region or no stranger to large earthquakes. So if you go back and look at historical seismic events out there, I was going to include it in my earthquake fact scroll, but I will do that a little bit later. I just wanted to read about some earthquakes out there that have taken place in history. I mean, there's a lot. If you look it up, there's this area out there is very capable of some major quakes in that region. 8.5 earthquake plus. They're saying it could be larger than 8.5. It's called a 365 Crete earthquake. Occurred at about sunrise July 21st, 365. So I'm guessing that's 365 AD in the eastern Mediterranean, right? That's kind of where we're seeing all this earthquake activity take place in the region. And of course, it caused widespread destruction in central and southern Greece, northern Libya, Egypt, Cyprus, Sicily, and Spain. I know I didn't pronounce that right. And I wanted to see what the potential... Okay, scientists estimate that such a large uplift is only likely to occur once in 5,000 years. So other segments of the fault in this area could slip on a similar scale, and this could happen every 800 years. So yeah, quite a bit of earthquake history in this region of the world, and something to go check out if you get a chance. Go look up historical seismic data or seismic activity in the Mediterranean Sea, and you will see a bunch of activity that has taken place in that region over the centuries. So, I'm trying to think here. I think I'm getting sick or something. I can hear it in my voice. Kind of sounds a little on the raspy side here, folks. So I do apologize about that. I did want to cover everything out here. New Madrid fault system. I've covered that a lot in my previous updates. But it's a very good thing to know out there, folks. If you live out in that part of the world, Tennessee area, and other states as well within that vicinity. The New Madrid fault seismic zone is a big deal, but like I said, the earthquake activity appears to be calming down in that region as the 7-day all magnitude earthquake map showed that there was maybe one, if that, small earthquake in that area over the last 7 days. So no increase, no swarming of activity in the New Madrid fault zone. So rest easy on that area. Live view of Volcano Taal, still active, folks. Still sitting at a level 4 category, or level 4 alert level. I will continue to leave this up for the time being. I can't say activity is picking up or not. It does, to me. It doesn't look like it. It looks like, if anything, it's kind of dwindling down a tad. But I will continue to keep the live stream up there for a little bit on that view. We normally have it set to like Yellowstone or maybe somewhere down Southern California, or of a high interest area when it comes to earthquake or weather data. We try to focus on that region with the webcam. But we'll keep this Volcano Taal up there right now, and see what today brings. I mean, today is mostly over. It looks like the 49ers are whipping the heck out of the Packers. I'm not following it. I'm not a sports fan, but I don't like the 49ers, folks. That's why I'd love to see them lose. So that's the only reason why I am following that game a little bit today, just off social media. Other than that, I guess both teams could lose, as far as I care. Just not a big sports fan here on this side. So anyway, folks, have a good day. Enough of my rambling. I will be sitting out here on the side on the live stream for a little bit, so come on over and say hi. I think I'm going to take a shot of Dayquil here in a little bit too, to help with my I don't know, just weird feeling today, and kind of groggy and grumpy. So anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in. We will be over here on the live stream. Peace out.